How you guys doing today? Today is March 25th, 2021. Happy Thursday to you. If you're new here, my name is Evan, also known as the YouTube John Stonkton. I'm out here, I get these delicious snacks. I'm like, ooh, what's this? Pump fake, over there. Oh, good assist. Oh, what's this? Oh, between the legs, behind the back. Ah, all that kind of good stuff, right? I'm here to assist you with your stonk journey. Other folks call me the Chef Boyar Swing because, ooh, ravioli, give me the formioli, all that kind of good stuff. And of course, I'm also known as the Bull Gates. That's the new one. Instead of Bill Gates for Bull Gates now. So you have three great dumb pun names, but all of them equally stupid. But that's who I am. I'm out here to help you guys. The whole purpose of this channel is for you to view me and get my AdSense up so I can pay for my horrible lifestyle. No, I'm kidding. I'm actually here to help beginners and intermediate traders. If you're a beginner trader and you're like, what's happening? All right, why is this happening? Well, one, you just got done with the greatest bull run in like years. So of course it's making it a little choppy for you and you're probably confused. Two, there's a thing called sector rotation. And as time goes on, and I'm not gonna get like super in depth on it, you can go ahead and Google and YouTube sector rotation. There's like 500 different dudes in suits who are like, I'll tell you all about the sectors in my degree. It's like, all right, cool guy, right? But technology ain't the move right now. It's really not. And QQQ, that's the technology ETF and index, is getting pulverized. So why would you buy those, right? Why would you go and swim against stream? Doesn't make any sense. What I'm focusing today, and why this is different, I have 13, fewer of the old ones, but 13 brand new tickers. I'm not gonna cover old ones. The reason is I'm taking all those, yeet, and getting rid of them for the next few days or weeks. We're in a recession, we're in a pullback. It's still going up, but folks are paper hands. So the sectors I'm going to focus, and these 13 of them from today are from these 5 sectors alone: utilities, financials, consumer defensive, consumer cyclical, and healthcare. These 5 I have a lot of faith in. Even when there's recessions, you got to think about what are some inelastic goods. Inelastic meaning that price can change, but demand will not change. What shit do you need to live, right? Insulin is the number one example, right? If you have diabetes or you have cancer, any of these kind of things that are going to kill you, God forbid, I'm not mocking anybody. If you have anything that's going to kill you, and insulin goes from $1,000, $2,000, are you going to buy your insulin? Hell yeah, big fella, you got to get your insulin, right? If you don't get it, you could die. So it doesn't matter if it's 1, 2, or 5,000. Folks are going to buy that, and that comes from healthcare. Energy utility stocks, right? Do you need plumbing? Do you need electricity? Right? Folks are going to pay for that no matter what. You're like, no, they won't. Doesn't make any sense. Texas just charged like $15K to people, and they're like, well, because they got to pay it, right? Obvious. And then, of course, consumer stocks, like folks understand Disney, they understand Home Depot, they understand all the restaurants they go to, all the stuff that you need to buy to live your life, folks are going to buy those now. So again, we're going to transfer to those 5 sectors, 13 brand new ones. We're going to go through all of them. So beginners, welcome. All the technical analysis you want to see about these sectors that are going to be great is here for you. We're going to talk about supports, trend lines, patterns, volume profile, EMA lines, RSI, stochastic, and vortex. Those 8 things. Those 4 things are going to be what? 4, the 2 hands. These 8 things. Oh, is what we're going to be talking about for technical analysis. And again, for intermediate traders, you may be a little more well off, but again, you need to diversify. Any more than any time you've ever traded, this is the time to diversify, right? You can pick, ooh, I want that. I want this and I want that. You got to go ahead and get every different sector. Ooh, consumer defensive. Ooh, healthcare. Ooh, long-term, short-term, scalp, whatever it is. You got to start diversifying. You have 3 technology stocks and that's it. I bet today hurt a little bit. So with that being said, lastly, I do have a Discord chat. If you want to join, I'm making a new cohort, a new tier. I'm going to have a new group of folks that want to come in because the other one is perfect, great size. I'll let you into the first one for now, and you'll integrate with them, learn from them, see the culture we have. I'll then take you in the group that we have, like 70, 80 folks when it happens, pick you up and put you in your own chat. With that, I'll bring over 5, 10, 15, 20 of my more veteran folks who I have who will come in. They'll get free access from now on. They'll be admin. They'll also help you and the first group. So again, we're finding some solutions where everyone can get educated, everyone can be in the community, everyone can feel better, but no one's muddying up the waters, no one feels left out. It's gonna be quality, that's the whole goal. So again, if you wanna join, let me know, fantastic. 7-day trial is still available. If you wanna try it, you can message me on Discord or you can message me on here, it's fine. Lastly, again, like, comment, subscribe to the bell notification. But besides that, plenty of great people on this app, plenty of great folks. Make sure you find out who's the most viable and you should go find them, right? There's a pizza, I should be one piece of that pizza, right? If you want to make a house, you need to have a foundation. I should be one brick at that. I'm really good at what I do. I'm super good at what I do. But there's folks who are better day traders. Folks are way better at options. Folks are 10 times better at crypto than I am. Right, so go find them. What I teach you, you can apply anywhere. But again, you gotta go find those people too. Go support them, go patron them, go support them as well. That's what matters. With that being said, 13, boom, boom, boom. 13 new tickers for you, all in the 5 best sectors in my opinion for the next few weeks. I love it. Let's check it out. So again, we're gonna do this a little bit different today. We have 13 stocks above us in our trusty poop list. If they're in the poop list, I almost always hope and give them the most respect I can, because that's our wellness. This is what we do. We are very superstitious. It's been good to us. We're gonna keep it rolling with the same exact list. Like I said in the intro, almost all brand new tickers. You'll notice a few of them. What I do on these red days, I go scanning for new ones. And as I talked about also in the intro, sector rotations happening with some stuff. We see QQQ getting the shit kicked out of it on a constant basis. And we see a bunch of heavy swings in both directions. So again, I'm going to go for more utility, financial, healthcare, and then consumer defensive and consumer cyclical. Those are the 5 I'm going to be focusing. Yeah, 5, auto focus. Love it. So we're talking about those 5, and every one of these 13 are one of those 5 categories. So let's get this going. These are all really good ones, and this is why I scan on red days for this exact reason. So first is AB Alliance Bernstein Holdings. Ooh, one of my people. What's up, Bernstein? We can see clearly this channel is absolutely sexual. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you could take this line. All right, there's 2 of them because apparently I did this twice like an idiot. You take this here line. Look how well this lines up. That's almost a channel. It's definitely a wedge because they don't line up perfectly, and that's okay. But you can see that the lines are super crisp. It looks really good. Do I think we can get lower? I do. I do think AB could probably come down maybe like 48, 47. That's why we have our stop loss. I called all AB before. That's why these are here. Just for my Discord users. But we can see that if it does come down to like, 38, if you bought here, you may want to reconsider selling and possibly, buying in here or holding a little bit. But I think 38.30, 38.40 makes a lot of sense if it does come all the way down. This is a beautiful channel, though. I think this is a beautiful support. The main thing to notice with this, though, is it bounces off old resistances. That's a big resistance. And you can see it comes up. This is an old resistance right here. See, it bounces a bunch right here. This was an old resistance, and now we're hoping it bounces here, possibly here. That's what I'm kind of saying. 38 also kind of makes sense, right? It could also come here and do just fine. So we're waiting. We're going to see what it's going to do. It has no sign of life yet, so let's not jump in. But AB in itself is a fantastic holding going forward. It has a really good price target, I believe, but AB, it's looking really good on this kind of day. Let's check the indicators. What's super cool about this channel is I do not look at the indicators while I scan. I look purely for price action. I have no idea if the RSI is going to goof it up, if the EMA lines look terrible. I have no idea. They could also be the things that make me want to go into tomorrow. There's a chance that there's a 200 EMA line at 39.10 right now, and it's holding it up. That changes the whole entire conversation. So again, you'll see what I see. I use the 10, 50, 200 EMA line, and then I also use volume profile, which I don't get into much on this channel. You can watch my videos for that, but I use that a lot. And then we also use the RSI, stochastic, and vortex indicator. So all 6 of those things you'll see on screen. So off the bat, like I said, the EMA lines gave me some clarity. And what's great is I can now go off of 2 things, a crossover or value. As I discussed in yesterday's video, so I'm not going to go that far into it, you want to have convergence in every chart. We have the EMA line. Fix my hair. We have the EMA line right here. You have the support and the trend line right here. So you have like 4 or 5 things right here holding it up really nicely. Everyone's kind of slowing down. And it does break the 50 quite often. Oh no, we're starting already. Already yawning. All right, already yawning. It breaks the 50, so you have 2 options. Wait for it to come back and clear back up. That's 2% you're going to leave on the table, but then you can move your stop loss up to where the 50 is and the top of this trend line and let it run. You can also wait for it to get a little bit closer to the 200 where it bounces at. It bounces up the 200 occasionally, like over here and back over here. So if it does come down further to 200, almost a guarantee, almost, not for sure, but almost a guarantee it's going to be a much better play than where it is here. So the EMA lines do shed some light. Either wait for a crossover in the 50 or wait for a better value with the 200 in mind. What's great about this is the RSI is gorgeous. Gorgeous. You love where it is. It's exactly where you want it to be. Stochastic is low, and you see how it's going down hard, and now it's kind of, it's kind of showing some life. Uh-oh, daddy likes. And then the vortex, the green bar is the positive bull volume and price averages, and then the red one is, of course, the bear and selling. As we can see, the bear is almost completely overbought, and the green is almost completely oversold. So again, I think a reversal is pending. Am I 100% guaranteeing it? Absolutely not in this market. But if I were to go off of the sector choice that I did and off of this ticker, A, B, when it comes to almost fantastic setups, it's hard pressed to find a better one than this one, for sure. I like it a lot. Next is ABCB Ameris Bancorp. Again, this is obviously going to be a financial play. This is a beautiful channel. It breaks once. Okay, this was that big sell that everyone was like, oh God, we're all going to die. This is where that happened. Look at this. Perfect. Perfect. It lines up perfectly. This is a beautiful, beautiful channel. Now, again, you could be looking at this and being like, well, hold on. It's not the line. I wanted to get in here. All right. Are you gonna sit here and nitpick almost 2%? So you can complain the whole time and miss this? Sure. We could also see that's technically still what, ladies and gentlemen? Downtrending. So are we going to buy here? I wouldn't. Give it a day. Give it a day or two. We can also line up the resistance here. You see that, it's kind of making a broadening wedge kind of setup here, right? Until it breaks above this, there's no real point of going long on it in the short term. But I'll definitely give it some time to show some life. It's coming down. It's showing some good life here. It does consolidate and melts up, so there's a chance it will come back down, go up, go up. If this is the case, we want to definitely see that this right here makes a higher low. So if we can get to like 51, 15, 20 and hold, that's a perfect price to buy into. I'm going to give it a day or two, but A, B, C, B off the bat, channel and support right here, looking delicious. Let's check the indicators. Just like with A, B, we can see the 50 EMA line is critical. If it does break and hold beneath it, I would give it a few days to get back above it. Sick. When it gets back above the 50, then we can talk business once again for going long. The RSI, it does reverse where it's at, but it also reverses a little bit lower. So I think, again, it may pull down to the support again and then show some more life. Stochastic is dummy low and showing some life. And then, of course, the green positive volume and bull is low, but the bear volume is also getting near overbought. So again, I think a reversal is pending. I think it's definitely coming eventually, but will it happen tomorrow or Friday? I couldn't tell you, but for a good setup, ABCB, hard to beat. Next is AQN. This is pretty because you can see this was once a broadening top right here. You see that? How it was channeling up. And what did it do? It broke. Okay, no pattern lasts forever, big fella. But we've had our eyes on it. It's coming back down to where you want it to. This could also be considered a bump and run. Ooh, see that? It had a trend line. It got a little crazy, and then what did it do? Came back to that trend line. And that's where we are right now. Now, would you like to buy it lower? I would. So now I'm going to cover the indicators for this one. I found this on the right down here. I put it on my Discord saying it's pretty good. And, it's definitely a good risk versus reward at a lower price. AQN. Put it on your watch list. That's what this whole show is about. And I think it can get lower. If it takes off from here, then I can get mad, right? I don't want to risk any more than I have to in this kind of market. I think with the dividend coming, it'll probably sell off a little bit. The dividend pays off. It probably comes back down to here. Then we can buy in a little bit lower. So AQN, watch listed. I'm not going to go into deep depth on it, but I do like it a lot. ARCT is a healthcare company, one of the 5 that I talked about earlier. I love this setup. It's delicious. If we zoom out, we can see that there were lower lows, and there's also been higher highs. So this thing is fairly intense. If you don't think that we can't get down at $10 again, mistaken. So it definitely is possible. Do not get over excited and think that you're overconfident. Well, don't do it. Do I think we can get lower? I do, but we have had, $34 and we've had $34.90. We've also seen a reverse at like $38.95. So we're a little bit high. We are a little bit high. Again, I called it down here. It's already kind of coming up, but it's coming back down again. You can see that this resistance line is fairly strong. It's not really getting above it. And of course, you can come over here and be like, well, we can connect all these and see that, it's definitely like a descending kind of play here. Let's give it some time tomorrow on Thursday, or sorry, tomorrow on Friday. But when it comes to a deal, what a deal. What a risk versus reward. Worst case risk 5 or 4%. You can make on the first resistance 20. I mean, this thing is it's super intense. It can go crazy. So ARCT, I like it. Maybe too volatile for me in this market, but if you like to kind of be a little more risky and more aggressive, it's a good pickup. Let's check the indicators. We can see with ARCT that the big thing's going to be the 50 EMA line. So you can see how it's breaking it down and held it up. That's going to really be your sign to go along. And again, you may be like, that's so far away. Yeah, it's a good 50% away. So again, you can play off of value here. That's fine. Or you can put up the 50 EMA line crossover here. Either one is totally fine. RSI is oversold. The only problem with that being oversold is that on these downtrends, it said oversold and it would have been burned every single time it happened. So not overly sold. Now over here you would have made money. You made 42%. So I think it's definitely possible to make some money, but I wouldn't be overly confident if it keeps on downtrending like it is now. Stochastic was about as low as it can be, showing some life, like it. And then of course green, maxed out, red, overbought, and coming down. So again, I think given this scenario, I think a reversal is fairly common to happen here. I like it a lot. It's just a little volatile. If I get a better price, excellent. If not, I may have to buy in. You can see it's going green. So if it does keep going and gets above the 10, that may be a good choice for you as well. ARCT, I like it a lot, but I'm going to give it a day or two. But I do like it a lot. Next is AZRE, AZRE Power Global. So again, this is a utilities company. Everyone who lives needs power, don't they? I mean, there's homeless folks, and God forbid that happens to you. But like most people need power, heat, and air and stuff. An obvious down channel here. That's fairly obvious. No one over here is contesting that. So is it possible that this is going to probably kind of come over here, do this, and then come all the way down here? Sure, that's possible. Anything's possible, right? It could also do one of these and just kind of go, and sell off at the same angle it's going, and then you line up over here at 1934 pretty well. So again, we're not out of the woods yet, but this is definitely, kind of coming to a head here. This is a very strong support area. All the volumes here. If you're watching the stock now, would you be shorting it? Would you hop in now to short it at this spot? I don't think so. I don't think anyone who would really be aggressive to short it would be down here. They'd probably be up here. This would make a lot of sense to be up here and short it. So I think there's a lot of bull action coming, and as we can see, it is kind of forming like low, red, confused, green. So it may reverse here, and again, if it only reverses and hits the resistance, you're still getting it at 11%. And you're not risking much at all. It's a good company. Again, check out the earnings play. It seems that this may go down lower. So hopefully it's an overreaction and come back up. But for a support play, woo, AZRE is beautiful. Let's check the indicators. And once again, due to the EMA lines, we can now tell that the 50 is going to be your really go long signal. Oh my God, my life. So we can see that the 50 needs to get broken. That should be a part of your price target. If you can get to the 50, that's fine, 12, 11%. If you break above that, now you're just going to be playing with house money, looking really good. RSI could be a dash lower, but it is very low. It does reverse here, so that's a really good sign. We can see that the stochastic, again, it's very low and starting to curl. So we're getting some life. That's what you want to see. Then let's measure. I think the green could get a little bit lower, but still pretty high. And then when it comes to red, it's getting overbought. So again, I think bulls are getting a little bit upset. They want to take over, and bears are a little bit exhausted. So I think AZRE, a great pickup. I just want to see maybe one more green candle. I needed something to set me off, maybe a engulfing or bullish engulfing. A doji, we'll see. But AZRE, I like it a lot. It's a good pickup. Next is DAR. So let's take our channel. Oh, let's not, I guess. Let's take our channel, come up here and see that it's a perfect, it's almost perfect channel. It is somewhat broadening. So we know that this up here, is it possible? Hell yeah, given this price action, you can maybe hit 20, 25%. Would I plan my price target on that? I certainly wouldn't. Some folks would. They'd be like, I'm only going to take 25% because I think I'm so smart and I'm going to be the next Jordan Belfort. Well, you're an idiot. Why wouldn't you just take, 15, 20%, like here, hit this resistance, get your money mostly out, let the rest of it run, and you make something. Beautiful, but it's a beautiful channel up. And it's at the support. So that's really great. If this does break, I would assume we're going to see 65 and probably closer, maybe like $62, $61. But this is a fantastic setup. If we do clear this resistance line, not much is going to stop you from getting up here pretty easily. So DAR, Darling Ingredients, again, know what they do. What are they doing? They had earnings, they ran it up, so maybe this is a little bit of an overreaction. Like folks are like, hell yeah, brother, and it's coming back down. But really great run up, super gorgeous price action. If we can get this POC to shift up here, Chef Boyer swing would like. This is fantastic. Let's check the indicators. Once again, the EMA lines have shed some light for us. We can see that's below the 50, so what would I do? You have two options. Wait for it to get back above the 50, showing yourself and showing you that we have some form of life. Now the 50 can be your stop loss, and tandem with that resistance line would probably become your support. It comes up here. Do it. Comes up here and retest. This would be your support area. And again, that's how you mitigate your risk properly. Or wait for value. It doesn't get to the 200, right? So probably wait for a stronger support line. If it does dip, maybe like, again, 66.13 or somewhere around, like $64, $63. RSI is low. It's showing some life. We need some life. We got to see it kind of get a little bit up here and kind of show some, life here. You want that. Stochastic was dipping out. Now it's showing a really good curl here. A bit fair, a bit overbought. It may come back down to the negative 40s, negative 30s, and turn back around. But the big thing again, vortex. Bulls are being pushed down. A lot of the bull volume is out of here. So when folks buy back in, there can be a lot of bulls pushing up. And bears are getting a little bit exhausted. They're getting a little bit exhausted. This is about as far down as they probably want to go. So DAR, I like it a lot. Do your fundamentals. But when it comes to these 5 sectors we talked about, DAR is fantastic in those. Next is FE, First Energy. Once again, utilities. You need energy. I'm sorry, you need to have power. And if you have a Tesla, like my good friend Jesus has, who won't shut the hell up about it, you also need power, don't you? You smart ass. No kidding. I love Jesus. Come back home to daddy. We can see this is a really beautiful ascension. Let's duplicate this line here. Come on over. Does it line up? Yeah, I mean, it lines up pretty well. Now, this is a big concern that didn't tap. But, if we're splitting hairs at a certain point, my guy. You can come over here and say that maybe it's wedging. Okay. And again, I would just make sure my price target's based off of that. So you'd be like, 9% for a max. That's not a lot. Okay, but what's the risk here? If this all breaks down, 2.5%, that's great. I can check the fundamentals, FE. It's pretty high. I think it's pretty good. So again, super solid company. They just had dividends. They have their earnings. You will get 39 cents. So that's almost 1%. Every single quarter you have this, you will get 39 cents paid to you. So if you just hold, it could freaking tank to $2. But if you have 1,000 shares of it, you're gonna get $340 every single solitary 3 months, right? That's really good. So again, dividends are big right now. There you go, Chief. Great setup, great channel. Will it last forever? Absolutely not. But you can even see in the 10-year chart, it has much higher highs, and then it got tanked because of the COVIDs. And see this angle? Not much different than this one. When we come back over here, not much different than these. So First Energy does this. It does do this kind of moves. I'm not very nervous about that. I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. So we once again have a 50 play. Again, these sectors are much better than a lot of these, so they're all holding pretty well. And so you have options. Hello, make sure you decide what you want to do. You have to have a written plan. Have a written plan when you get into these. Are you going to wait for a 50 crossover, get back above it, use that as your stop loss? You wait for a better value, maybe $33 or maybe the 200 EMA line. That's not going to be your plan. Make sure you have a plan. And if you mess your plan up, you're going to be sad. And no one be sad like me, because that's going to be devastating to you to have to live a life like mine. This came my life's pretty great. I like you guys. You guys are fantastic. The RSI is low. Could be a dash lower, a tad, a little sprinkle lower. Could be a little bit lower, a little bit of seasoning less. But it's really, really good. Stochastics pointed down. So what are we going to do? Wait. We're going to wait for it to kind of show some life here and maybe a little bit lower. So again, go off of value. Maybe you can see it hit around, negative 72. Shit. That's good. Can't get much lower than that. But if it does start to curl here, which it does, see how it curls a lot at negative 40? Watch that. And then, of course, it was bottomed out. Red was overbought. You can see how that happens, how red gets overbought and then starts to curl as it gets down. If we get a crossover, another great signal to go long. So FE, long term, 6 months, year, 2 years, fantastic. Short term, really good. I like it a lot. I like it. I think it's a great pickup for sure. Next is FHN. I may not go super in depth on this one, just again, given that's already showing some life here. It's pretty high up here. And I'll cover it. It has a lot of reward potential. So let's redraw this as a channel. Let's get rid of this one. So let's get rid of that. Let's duplicate this real quick. Is this a channel or a wedge? Always ask that because both will never last forever, but channels are much better off than wedges usually. So come over here, we can see that these don't really line up that well. You see how there's no, it doesn't really line up. So I know it's not a channel. I think we're gonna come over here and see that this is definitely a broadening top or a broadening wedge. You can see that how these do not match, and when you get one of these kind of shapes, the issue is that pattern only lasts when you go from support to resistance, resistance to support, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And if we cannot do a move up to this area, which I don't think is impossible, but I don't think it's very probable. If that's the case, this will not reach up. It's probably gonna hit maybe like 17, 18 bucks, come back down. Now we have to wait for a new pattern to form. And if it does that, if it's a lower high, that shows you that's going to probably be more of a bear setup. So be cautious moving forward about that. But this is still beautiful. It's a beautiful trend line, right? With that being said, it's already taken, I called it over. It's like, hey, it looks pretty good. And then it's up about 4.5%. So what I would do myself, you can see that it's definitely still downtrending. Line up all these bad boys. There you go. Almost perfect right there. It's still downtrending. If it does get above this resistance and tests it, I would probably buy there personally. But, you know, it's a good sign. It does consolidate back and forth. If it comes back down to 16 bucks, I would definitely pull the trigger. So I definitely, for me, I need better value or a crossover some type, but I like this play a lot. Let's check the indicators real quick. So given what I'm seeing here, it's bouncing off the 200. I will personally wait for it to get above the 50. That's what I'm going to do. If it can get above the 50, which is only 3% more away, come down and test it. It does that. See how it does that? It comes up, goes, little red doji says, I'll live. And keeps going. I'll probably ride it out then. You know, like Bon Jovi on his steel horse he rides, you know. This was very low. Stochastic showing life. You'll love to see it. And then, of course, green was very low. Red, very overbought. So I think this one may have left the station for a lot of people based on price action. But if you can get above the 50, FHM becomes a much more viable play. Next is IGV. So off the bat, I want 3 taps to make a trend line. You can definitely see this right here. Does not match up with this. Does line up pretty well. All I'm saying is that this was definitely a broadening top at one point, and I do not think we're going to get back up here. I don't think 400 bucks the next few days is a logical decision to be made. What I do think is logical is seeing that this is a downward trend line, like this, super horde. This is going to be your real good long signal when you get above this. This trend line though is fantastic. It's super strong. This support area is okay. It's all right. I mean, I don't think it's the greatest to ever do it, but I think if you were to take this, I was just being conservative, move it up here and have this gap be hit, this right here, this gap, that gap, all this. This is a strong support looking at it a second time. And what's the risk? 1.5%. Oh my God, what are you going to do? I mean, we all know that CCIV and GameStop and AMC always be printing, so if I want to risk 1.5%, I better really call the bank and get a loan. I'm kidding. That joke also doesn't work that well because GME just popped off today. But, like, I think most people in GME were, like, bought up here. And then they're like, hell yeah, GME's moving. And that's down here. And they're like, we're going to get our money back. And it's like, I don't think so. But that's okay. The reward, again, 4, 5, 6%, risking 1.5% for even a decent move is a great setup. iShares, Trust, Expand, again, know what they're doing. But this trend line is sensual. I do like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. We've had some light shed on us. I would definitely take some time with IGV to let it develop. What do I mean? When we look at the first few months, I'm going to go back to the chart in a second, you can see that the 200 and the 50 were below the price. It was price, 10 EMA, 50, 200. It was properly stacked, as they say. Now we're opposite. You'll see that we have 200, 50, 10, and then price. I think this is a great value, but I think until we get above at least the 50, IGV may not be the best purchase. I don't think you want to go against the trend. Some folks may be like, we're in a bull bear market now, it's all going to go to shit. Yeah, we're still up 400 points since March 8th. So, like, we're still making ground. So I wouldn't be overly hasty to get into a play that's also improperly stacked. But this, for you, would be a good stock to watch to possibly short in the future. If it does get the 200 EMA line and then you see the market looks kind of weak, good possibility. If it does break above all that, go long. So I think this is a good one. I would definitely just give it some time to develop this. Again, these all look low. See how this looks kind of confusing? You know, this is in the middle. Yeah, give it some time. IGV, good pickup. I wouldn't really go long on it, but I do like it a lot. This is handsome as shit. We can come over here and see that we have just the nicest broadening top here. And it broke. All right, it broke. It's done. And so we can come back over here and what we got. And according to Sublime, we have love, you know. Now this is definitely what looks like a horizontal triangle is forming, or just a horizontal channel. There's some kind of horizontal play happening, but the thing that this trend line is no longer viable is ridiculous. It's still very viable, and we're right down here where I'd buy it at. And I think I called it over here. I did. I remember I called this one over here, over there, and I went up and I was like, woo, moonshot. But we're back down here. Again, do I think 5, 10, 15% is probably a good target? Closer to 10? Yeah. And I think LPRO, Open Lending Corporation, again, it's one of the big 5 sectors I wanted to focus these next few weeks. It's right where you want it. Very low risk. It had earnings and it ran up. It came back down. Overreaction led to an equally as good reaction. It's still downtrending. You can see it's red. So don't rush in. Okay, but you're definitely right in the middle of the buying area. I would definitely give it some room. 6% could easily make 12, 13, 14. Good setup. I like it a lot. LPRO, snack. Let's check the indicators. And this is where the email lines again show me a great sign. Again, we can go off of value, or we can go off of the email crossover. Waiting to get above the 200 is definitely not a stupid man's game. It really isn't. Some folks will be like, well, you left 3% on the table, 4%, idiot. That's actually viable for some plays. But seeing as that it does run up even past that, another 19%, or over here we got above both email lines, you would have had a 8% one day. I mean, if you want to wait for it to get above here, then you can use this resistance as your support area. You have convergence right here. That can then be your stop loss. You're, again, mitigating risk. So, again, if you want to buy value, sick with it. You want to wait for it to get above the email line, also sick. I like both. RSI is exactly where you want it, maybe a bit lower. But, again, stochastic is super low, showing some life. See how it's down here going, it's kind of going sideways. Put your cursor where the red bears usually get overbought at. We're right there. Where does the bulls get oversold at? You know, a bit lower, but right about here. What's that telling me? Again, no guarantees, but indicators line up with the price action for reversal. John Stonkton just came through and said, "Ooh, what's this? Is this LPRO? Oh my God! Well, there you go, sweet baby angel. You guys enjoy that. It's a big snack right here." PLIN. For some of you, you may be like, this looks stupid. Well, guess what? Dork, you're stupid. Shut up. No, but this is actually a really fantastic setup. It has higher lows across the board. It's just melting up. It's just, it just keeps going. Like, what do you hate about this? It's right where I want to buy it at, maybe 4 or 5% lower. Then again, this thing probably has huge collapse, syndrome. You can probably do it really hard, but what's important to recognize, you don't really see many big red ones unless it's led by a huge green one. So this is very much like that stock Jill I talk about. I just like that one a lot. But it's like Jill. It's like, is it BDR? It's like BDR, which again, I just did that. That's pretty crazy. I found it like 3 days ago. But it's like, this is definitely what they do. They go up and they go down, but they melt up with super nice spikes because day traders get in. I like this a lot. It's a good price here. If I can get in maybe at like 95 cents, I'd really like it. But it's exactly in one of the sectors we like. It's melting up. It's surviving these shitty days pretty easily. I do like it a lot. Very volatile. If you're a beginner, be very careful. But I like PLIN a lot. Let's check the indicators. So maybe thinking, well, I can't read in that mom's spaghetti. And of course, that would be a valid point. I'd say sick M&M meme reference. That's pretty dope. You can see when it goes crazy. When it gets above both the 50 and the 200. Should you wait for that? You can. I think at the end it's very viable. You're very likely to get spikes. But don't get this twisted, all right? You had almost 17 days of holding. Over here, you would have had about, no, you would have definitely sold. So, I mean, you got some signs here that you should definitely wait for it to cross above both. But I think getting at value will also lower your risk in case it does shit the bed and tank. So it's a really good setup. I do like it. It's hard to read, but if you get good at reading these, it could be a real snack. RSI was exactly where you wanted it, and it's still pretty low. Okay, it's at 38, and it usually gets up to above 70. That's like 32 points. That's almost double where it is now to move up. That's great. Stochastic is low and showing a little bit of a curl. You like that. And of course, the bulls, oversold. The bears, getting close to overbought. That's a great sign for reversal coming. PLIN, everything lines up. You like to see that kind of symmetry across the board. Price action looks good. EMA lines look good. All the indicators look good. It's a great setup. I like it a lot. Next is SPKE. Now, again, just looking off the bat, I don't see much resistance lines that would line up that well. Oh, shit. There you go. So that's pretty good. But, again, you didn't have this tap, so I would be a little bit more remiss to mention it. But I bet you were to come over here and line these up. They're probably also pretty similar. You got this, Evan. Look at that. So, again, I think the broadening top has taken place. We're waiting for new pattern to arise. While I wait for new pattern to arise, I'm often going to focus on horizontal plays. I do look for, firstly, the resistance trend line coming down. I want to see what that angle is like and what that arc is like, but I also want to figure out the horizontal lines. That's probably the most important to me. And so while I wait for this to kind of develop, come over here and see that our first downtrend was probably around like this. I can see it broke above that. Anyone can come over here and say, well, this lines are pretty good too. It does. It does. So again, it's hard when you find a stock to like try and properly track where these things should be. Most folks say peak to peak, so it looked more like this, which kind of also makes complete logical sense. So it goes peak to peak, then that became the tester. So I think we're still uptrending. We have a higher low here, right? Low, higher low. If we can get this above that, it's a great sign moving forward. But this trend line again is so powerful. It's so evident. We are above where I want to. I'd probably buy in around, $10, 10, 15. We're above that. So for me, I'm going to wait. But let's see the indicators show anything else, but I think it's a great stock moving forward. I would just wait for a better deal myself. Oh, look at that. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Look at that resistance. We can see why now this is not getting above it. We have both the 50 and the 200 above it, just like when we talked about with IGV. When both are above it and it's improperly stacked, it may get a little bit confusing. And so we can see that the 50 is here, the 200 is here, it's not getting above it. I would switch my tone though. I would go from this to more like this. If we can get above all of this and then retest it. If we can get above 1060 and hold, now we're talking a big runner. Ooh. So what I'm going to do, and see the indicators just went green. We want to see that go. It's showing some life. It's showing some life. It wants to get above it. We have a lot of power here. If we can get above the 50, the 200, and the 10, and that resistance, I would definitely go long. Because then you can use your own strategy where you're like, okay, I'm going to use the 200 as a stop loss. I'm going to use the 50 as a stop loss. I'm going to use confirmation, 10 EMA line on a smaller time frame. Whatever it is, you can use that. So I think I'm going to wait for a crossover, but SPKE moving forward is a nice setup for sure. Last and not Schmidt is Vector Group. Now make sure you know what Vector does. There's a lot of companies named Vector something. There's that dumbass company that sells knives door to door that is called Vector. I hate them with a passion. They wanted me to work for them and I was like, me? I'd rather die. So we can see this is a obvious wedge. Obvious wedge. Now, you're more likely to hit your price target on the resistance with a wedge, but you're also more likely to fall at the bottom of the support. These do not last forever. And we're almost there. Now again, let's do this real quick. All right, this old resistance, what did it become? A support. This old resistance here, what did it become? A support. How about this one up here? Support. This one seems to act more on, even right there. This one seems to act more on old resistance is becoming supports than it does the trend line. So I would give weight to the support area. And we're right. Oh shoot! And we're right there. Now again, let's connect our peak to peak. All right, are we above the downtrending line? No, it's still going down. Okay, but it's showing some life here. Worst case, you risk 2.5% to break this other candle, but you have plenty of room to run up. Delicious. So I would definitely give it, a day. If you miss this move, okay, that makes sense. I'd also wait because you can see 20 cents for one share. It's pretty good. And again, some of you guys are like, well, that's not a lot of money. All right, you buy 5 shares. All right, this is what dividends are. You buy 5 shares of this at $13. What are you spending? $75. You're gonna get $1 3 times a year for free, and you're like, that's nothing. It doesn't matter what the stock does. If the stock does nothing at all, it just tanks. You could buy more and get the dividend again and again and again. And so folks really enjoy dividend stocks for that reason. This is really popular for that reason, probably, honestly. The Vector looks really good. Looking really good. And again, dividends do lead to a sell-off because it comes out of the company's hands. So that's kind of why it's tanking right now. So it sold off and what to do. It came back. It sold off and what to do. It came back. So I think this is a great sign nonetheless. VGR, I like it. Let's check the indicators real quick. So it's bouncing off the 50 again. Now we have options. Now it's been shed. The light's been shed upon our eyes. We can wait for it to get back above the 50. Again, a lot of reward left on the table, and this resistance is pretty tough, so I would not be remiss to do that. I wouldn't want to do that. But if it does take off hard tomorrow, I can wait. That's fine. It also does bounce off the 200. If this does continue to die, I'd wait for my entry around $12.95, $13. RSI, it's low where you want it. It could be a dash lower. Stochastic is stupid low, and what's it doing? Curling. You want to see that come up. That's really good. And again, let's look at the vortex. I think the bulls could be a little bit lower. Well, that's why I think it may come down to the 200 EMA line. And the bears are getting a little bit exhausted. So again, not much of a mixed bag. It could be a little bit better, but VGR, fantastic setup. And there you guys have it. There's no intermediate plays, no recovering. I think for the older ones, I just think that today was such a goofy day. I'm most likely going to 100% reset my watch list. And I don't mean get rid of them. That'd be ridiculous. But I'm going to go through and find utilities, number 1. Those are my favorite. Utilities. Healthcare is number 2. Financials is 2A. It's up there. And then, of course, consumer stocks. You have defensive and cyclical. Usually cyclical is good on the way up and then defensive on the way down. But both are going to be very viable. But healthcare, financial, utilities, defensive, cyclical. Those 5 sectors I'm going to focus. Again, don't hold my feet to the fire. If I go, hey, it looks like we're actually moving away from defensive, fuck that. Let's go for something else. Don't be like, you said though on 325. Okay, things change. So don't get at me. But I think those 5 are going to be the ones we move forward with. That makes the most sense with sector rotation. With that being said, if you enjoy this kind of content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I have my studio getting built. It should be ready soon. It should really up our game. I think it'd be really cool looking. I'm going to have some cool stuff behind me, yada, yada, yada. If you really enjoy, check the Discord. It is a few more spots open. I think I opened up 10 more and they got filled up pretty quickly. I don't want you guys, though, to be discouraged. I'm making a new cohort or a new tier on Patreon. You guys can join. It'll be part of the old one that is fully established. And then when you get like 70, 80 members, I'll take you sweet baby angels from that Discord and plop you in your own with some admin help. And that way, all the folks you guys like, there's like a 10, 15 person group that are really, really knowledgeable. They'll be with you as well. And so if you really enjoy this kind of content, you want some more direction, some more help, let me know. And again, I don't give financial advice. I give educational support and community. And so if that's what you want, sounds great to me. With that being said, have a good rest of your Thursday? It is Thursday. We'll see you guys next Sunday for our next watch list. I appreciate you a lot. See you guys next time. Thanks.